nobody, no law can force him to disclose the owner of that money.
Wow.
And so on. So there are a lot of things that the white man has taught us as to how to be fraudulent. You see, it is not so easy in their own system because their systems are better structured than ours. We are just coming into a system where we're trying to operate democracy, white democracy, in a situation, in a country where the larger majority do not even understand what their rights are or what can be done with it.
Okay.
So everything that is wrong with us.
Okay, I'll come back to you.
Us.
I'll come back to you, and hopefully time will permit me. Mr. AVM Gbadebo, I'll come back to you before we round up. But let me go to Dipo Olayoko. Now, our House of Representatives have said that the British Parliament should provide proof over that allegation. Otherwise, they will require them to apologize. But from what Dipo is saying, he's saying that it is to their own shame. That's my word. That's not your word. So do you think the House of Reps will get this, or to what extent should we take a diplomatic step on this issue?
Yeah, I think the House of Reps is doing, or let me say, did what's expected of them. Not because they expected anything from the UK Parliament, but at least they must be seen to have taken some action. Which we will recall that over the weekend, the Nigerian government called on the UK government to apologize. And the UK government said the Parliament is an independent arm of government. They have nothing to do with what they are doing. They can't compel them to do something, but that the UK Parliament, the UK government does not believe in what those guys said. Having said that, I think there is a need for the UK Parliament to do a redress. Because if they continue like this, it's going to be a shame on them. But you see, why some of us are worried is that the British, despite all what they did to us in Africa and in Nigeria, instead of burying their heads in shame, they still had the guts to come in the open and be talking about issues in Nigeria. Who caused the problems we have for us? The problem of this issue, agitations, the problem of whatever. Who caused it? Is it the issue of corruption we are talking about? Our people will steal our money. They will take this money into your country, lodge the money there, and you are talking about corruption. Who is more corrupt to that among the two? But you see, I blame some of us Nigerians. I believe that our solutions to our problem comes from there. Okay. Look at what is happening in America. Over an ordinary election, the world thought, see what is happening. If it had to be in Nigeria, some people will have written to UK, some people will have written to America, as if America doesn't have their own problem.
Okay, Dipo, before you go, let me quickly take you up on this, then I will end with AVM. There is this angle to this story that it's a global village. I also recall some of those old clips of Joe Biden making a strong argument for Nelson Mandela and the apartheid in South Africa. Then I also remember that from time to time, our parliament also discuss issues that has to do with South Africa, that has to do with Sierra Leone, with Liberia, on what to do and what not to do. Can't we see it from that angle?
No. What we are saying is, they are appearing as if they are a solution to our problem, as if they are above board. That is our argument. They are not stopping anybody from discussing anything, any subject under the sun.
Exactly.
But when you are now appearing as if you are
holier than thou,
when in fact you are the problem, that is where some of us don't seem to agree with them. They have their own problem. Just about 3 or 4 days ago, even in England, people were protesting about lockdown. Some of their protesters were arrested. We saw it on television. So they have their own domestic problems that they are still grappling with.
Okay, Dipo.
So let us sit down and solve our own problem.
Oh, beautiful. That's because I was going to ask for a way out. So AVM, I'm sure you've listened to different angles because I'm looking at what is wrong. These petitions were written by Nigerians. based in UK. And we cannot say they don't have a stake. They have a lot of family members here. So why we all agree that that tantrums thrown against our former leader was unnecessary, but is there anything actually morally wrong or legally wrong to consider the petitions by Nigerians?
Well, the important thing is that if you feel aggrieved, you make your you make your case, and Nigeria has done that, and history, I believe, will judge us to go forward. Gowon himself was not going to say anything. He's a fine old man now, but his son has come out and written an article which I think throws light, and a few other Nigerians have written to support the grand old man. But this is part of what I'm saying. We have two sets of Nigerians. We have Nigerians here who believe in Nigeria, and those here who believe that it would be better for them if they were outside the country.
Okay.
Then we have the Nigerians out there who, I don't know about you, I have a few relations outside. The kind of information they send to me about Nigeria is always very disturbing. And once in a while, I have to, videos and so on. I have to fight them and say, if you don't have anything good to say, please, I am here. If you don't have, it's as if you are happy that things are going wrong in this country. You have settled abroad, you've got your British or whatever visa. Leave us alone. But they cannot. They can't seem to leave us alone.
Thank you so much, AVM Femi Gbadebo. I'm so sorry, my time is fast spent. We have to call it a wrap. Thank you once again, Air Vice Marshal Femi Gbadebo, a security consultant, and Dipo Olayokun for taking your time to drop your opinion on this matter. We quite appreciate both of you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, and have a lovely evening.
Yeah. And before we go, let me just give you my own take on the issue that was discussed earlier on, just after this short break. Such statement of resignation is not just worrisome, referring to the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed. It is also scary that we are helpless. To avoid the discourse of international politics, it is incumbent on our government to partner with foreign countries willing, I repeat, willing to assist us with some firepower to conquer this insurgency once and for all, and not technically. We are sick and tired of Boko Haram being technically defeated. We want them to be defeated so that we can return to the path of peace and tranquility in all our environs, including the Northeast. And that's how far we can go on today's edition of Plus Politics. Plus Politics returns tomorrow, same time, same station. I remain yours truly, Kayode Ladende, saying bye for now.
A lot of the jobs that exist today will not exist in the next 10 years.
10 years.
When I see people today shouting, we're not too young to run, we are ready to run. Ready to run to where?
The people of excellence are, to a certain extent, being held ransom by idiots and bandits.
Once you are in government, you believe everything you do is right. And once you are in opposition, everything the government does is wrong.
And so it's time for us to take over power.
now. If my own son self dey inside house now because of this lockdown and everything. All the children just sat down for house now. We many. Our children many. Then they inside house. We need school for this our community now. Make our children not leave us, go far place. Say they will go school for there. No, we don't need that. Make the school come here. So nothing for this Ogogoro community. We don't fight for this thing for a long time. Tekpa Bay, Ebitoku, Abagbo.
Children dey here, well, children dey here, no school at all. No any school for here. Make government come do better school for here. I get 4 children, now 2 they go, now 2 don't go.
Why 2 they go, why 2 no they go?
And school no dey now.
All these children, they know, we don't have, that's why we don't have better school here. No school. If we go today, tomorrow, no, that's why we say school day. If I no sit down for house like this, I beg, we beg the government, may they help us come build school here. So many of these our children, they may they come up for house.
I swear before God, no school. Help us. Make we get something for here. Make government say take nurse. They no do nothing.
We leave Ogogoro community not with the answers. 1,000 plus children here risk a lack of education. We hope that they find answers. And this is Story from the Slum. I am Amaka Okoye.
That money we shoot every person that we know we can shoot. We don't let people die there.
You could have killed me for a long period of time.
Since that time why I carry gonorrhea. I first go hospital first, but it no go. Now I come make that mama.
He just pulled it, he pointed and shot.
What is the soul of a man?
They suffer too much. They suffer too much.
Issues around the Nigerian police, we have to tackle it holistically.
Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? #Ways, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Usayome Saleh, and today I am joined by my amazing co-anchors, Isi Afodile. Hey. And Sandra Eze.
Well, I'm here again.
Yes, so I'm so happy that you came.
Oh my goodness.
To bail me out. Wow. We're trying to get used to
this a daily shift, right? Oh my goodness. And the traffic situation in Lagos is not helping.
It's horrible.
Like today was yet another day I had to drive like fast and furious.
Yeah.
Like to everybody, if you know me and I drove somehow in front of you, forgive me. I had to be here. I'm rehearsing for the role in the future. Yeah.
Oh, yes, so I'm telling you, like, it's so interesting. Lami was supposed to be in the studio with us, but she had to call to say, that she's had a very tough day. She had put her meetings in the morning thinking that she would be done, then she would not come. She was just getting home at 6 o'clock. I said, there's no point, it's fine. Oh, you can just join us from home. I don't know if she's there yet. But let me come to you, Isi. How are you doing?
I'm fine, trying to get used to the daily show. Today's my first day, but I'm looking forward to the rest.
Yeah, so we are excited about our daily run. And today we're just going to be talking about us and our journey so far, because we are one.
Yes!
Yes!
Happy birthday, Wade!
We are one. So here's what we found as today's quote. We have to look for a quote for today. It's not about luck. It's about hard work and a relentless drive for constant progress. I mean, this caps what Ways is all about. It's a lot of hard work. It's not luck. We've put in a lot of work. Every single person on this team.
Consistency.
Every single person on this team has worked hard. We've pushed, we keep pushing the limits. We keep pushing the boundaries and all of that. So for us, it's not about luck. It's about relentless, hard work. And we're very excited, as you can probably tell.
And honestly, I think I'd like to put in something because I'm privileged, like how this whole journey started. And I may say a few stuff that you may not like, but I mean, I think people need to hear it, right? So I remember back in 2017, you were in a lot of pain. I have never seen you that shaken. And I was going through some pain as well. So it was one of the few topics that united us at that point was talking about, you were coming up with all these beautiful, brilliant ideas. And, I was hanging out with you as well. Back at the cosmetic shop, and we talk about, how about we do this? What about this name, this or that? So it was like a healing process. So I watched Owa divert all her healing energy. The focus is like, I'm not going to be, and I really do applaud you, Owa, because when you say that you're passionate about mind reformation and stretching the mind and possibilities, it is true because I have watched you live it. And I remember that there was at a point where we wanted to carry the show to some TV station. And they wouldn't, At that point, I would have budged. I would have said, you know what, let's just go with them. But Owa stood her ground. I was like, no, this is not.
That, I would also back that up because we actually started somewhere else. And in the process of us, doing things with them, it wasn't going right the way she wanted. And she said, no. It's either this way or no.
I'm not about this life.
So is that your plan?
No, but it's the truth and it has to be said.
We have to give you cognizance and recognition for your persistence and relentlessness because you have done what Hercules couldn't do.
Okay. Well, we want to thank the people also at Plus TV that also opened their doors and to give us this opportunity. I mean, it's one thing for you to have a vision. It's another thing for somebody to believe in that vision, to be able to, go that extra mile with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I want to, thank Mr. K. He gave us the platform.
Absolutely.
And we also thank the new MD that is also transitioned us because
give us
now
live daily slots.
Now, as you can probably tell, I'm super excited as it's our 1-year anniversary, but we also is doubling as, what's it called? The launch again of our daily run.
Right.
So it's a lot of double energy for us here. But we'll
growth.
take a break because we're talking about our 1-year journey so far. But we'll take a break. When we return, we'll see what we found in the news. You're still watching Ways. Now, World AIDS Day is observed on December 1st every year. World AIDS Day is dedicated to spreading awareness about the acquired immune deficiency syndrome, that's AIDS, which is spread by a virus called human immunodeficiency virus. Now, the theme for World AIDS Day 2020 is global solidarity, resilient services. Amidst this COVID-19 pandemic, HIV prevention, testing, and treatment are all being disrupted worldwide, particularly in countries with healthcare where the healthcare infrastructure is weak. So it's important that we still remind people that there is still AIDS in the building, you know, not just COVID-19. And we're hoping that we're able to eradicate this menace. You know, it's, I mean, it's not something that...
And we need to also enlighten individuals
Yeah,
that is not
and keep
the
the
diverse
awareness.
ways that they can actually,
Contract it,
contract it.
Yes.
So it's
You know, the
very
funny thing is, I will tell you the truth. Today is World AIDS Day. Beyond today, if not for today, I haven't heard the word AIDS in a very long time.
Because coronavirus has actually taken over.
Because there was a time AIDS was just all in the news. They were the pigeon jingles on TV.
AIDS, they show for face.
So
AIDS, they reload.
You know, they said all sorts. I mean, they did a lot of awareness, and I think it brought that consciousness to people. But it's also important that days like this, we remind ourselves that these things still exist.
Still exist,
yes.
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
All right, so I'm going to go with Sanzi first. What did you find for us in the news?
Okay, so, well, now our new INEC chairman, that's in Independent National Electoral Commission, has been appointed, which is like pretty much the same person, we know, Mr. Mahmoud Yakubu is the new Senate, my goodness, INEC chairman for 2023 elections. That's his second term. The first one was he was appointed in 2015. He took over from Atahiru Jega. Right. So he's expected to resume immediately, and during his screening, he said the commission will try to get the required materials ahead of the polls for the success of future elections. Also, what we intend to do this time around is that things that we require for the election, we shouldn't wait until the election year. There are some critical aspects of our work that have to be concluded next year. We just have to find the resources to do so. Also, we have to undertake 1,508 activities in 814 days for us to deliver in the 2023 elections. And here is the one I find really interesting. He also appealed for the construction of 37 strong rooms across the country to prevent destruction of electoral materials.
So what about
strong
before
rooms?
they get to the point of the
my
strong
point is, if we were to score Mr. Mahmoud
for 2019 elections,
yeah, and beyond or whatever, what is his score sheet like? Is he good? Is he a 60%, 50%, 100%? What's his score sheet?
I find that really interesting because the committee chairman, Kabir Guy, said that Mr. Mahmoud was found suitable for the position because he had no petition or no incriminating report against him.
Wow.
So
my question still goes to...
And of course, we know that Mr. President specifically requested for his return as the INEC chairman.
My question still goes to, before the ballot paper and everything gets to the strong rooms, usually we have touts that come in to disrupt
We're not even talking
the
about that. So
environment
can
and
we even
everything.
move past? I thought all of these conversations about strong room and all that, did you not see how they did US election? We were all monitoring it from Nigeria.
Right.
Can we not move to, and take advantage of technology?
Digital world,
You understand?
yes.
To move our, so that, you know what? Today is a day for celebration because it makes no sense. You have technology at your disposal.
And you choose to ignore it.
Yes, and you choose to ignore it, and you're telling me it's strong. We don't need strong rooms. Right? We need you to start to move our things in the cloud. You don't need any strong room. Let us go to that place where it cannot be, like what you're saying about ballot box snatching and all of Let's get to that point and use our leverage on technology.
Absolutely.
I think we have Lami. If Lami is there, Lami, are you there? Is Lami there? Okay, I don't think she's back.
Okay, so let me take my story.
Yeah, your
we
story.
are all aware about the massacre that happened in Zabamari village, and we all know that it's not something that we are proud of that has happened in Nigeria, where 43 people were
This
actually...
one is more than 43. Let's just leave the numbers. For God to tell
43
us.
people. They said that we shouldn't be emotional about it. We shouldn't say it's a massacre, but in actual fact, it is a massacre. So the UN has actually condemned it. the UN Security Council condemns massacre of Nigerian farmers by Boko Haram. They were killed on Saturday, we all know that. So UN has condemned this killing in the strongest of terms and expressed profound condolences to the people of Nigeria and also to the families that have of the victims. So, and they also reiterated the fact that it is important for us to combat terrorism in any form and in any way it has come out in the world today.
I don't know who sent that list. Was it in our group, our WhatsApp group or something? When they sent it, they shared the list of terrorists, the volatile places in the world. You know, Nigeria was constant number 3 since for the last 5 years. Nigeria was constant number 3. Iraq and Afghanistan were juggling between 1 and 2. But Nigeria was just constant number 3. Where did we get to that point? It's still the same question I'm going to ask. That we are now a volatile, you know, highly insecure country. Nigeria was very peaceful and secure.
Aside from this, what actually struck me about the story is the fact that, yes, UN has condemned the killing of these individuals. Everybody should condemn it because it's not something to be proud of that individuals who were going to the farm to do their work are killed on the road.
Sanzi, you want to say something?
I want to. Let me land, please. And in the process, we have an individual the spokesperson for the president who said that they did not get military clearance before going out. My take on this is, why would I get military clearance before going out?
I took
yesterday. Yes.
Well, the truth is, some people have said that area is actually under military supervision and all of that. So he's in the right saying that. But I'm saying that beyond that,
if it was within military supervision, then they should have been somewhere
here is my opinion, and a lot of people may not agree, but was it confirmed that this is Boko Haram that carried out this act?
No.
It wasn't confirmed. So here is the thing. Let us not be too quick to give Boko Haram credit, because there is something it does to the mind. When someone does something, whether or not they did it, and you give them the credit, it makes them appear even more powerful. And then it puts fear in the mind of other people. So maybe it was not Boko Haram. That's why we need more investigative journalists. Maybe it wasn't Boko Haram, maybe it was them, but we need to be sure and confirm. Absolutely. So we don't end up giving them credit that makes them look more superhuman or more, you know, more dreadful. You know, I just don't like the fact that we are so quick to give them credit, because it makes them more powerful, and that's not, you know, it's
and my
it's
take
not okay.
also is that the spokesperson should have also Shehu Garba should have also given some sort of empathy to the individuals who were killed, because he actually blamed the dead for wanting to be.
Let's not say
it's so painful.
Well, my story is
we shouldn't be emotional about this.
Well, it's not to be emotional. We hope that they investigate it. My story, because we ran out of time, I will just say the headline. You know, the speculations by World Health Organization says malaria death toll to exceed COVID-19 in sub-Saharan Africa. I mean, if you have time, go and look for the article and read it, you know, because they're saying more than 409,000 people globally might, you know, die, might be killed. Were killed last year from malaria. So you know, where we're still talking COVID-19, there's malaria killing a lot of people. So I think a lot of us just need to be conscious of certain things to know that, yes, we must take our health, and the government must find a way to eradicate, you know, things like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Your Gates is on it.
Yeah. All right, so we'll take a short break. We're not able to connect with Lami, but when we come from the break, she will join the conversation, and we'll also have AK join us as well. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect them.
If you no talk, then go beat you.
Now 2,500 they pay.
It is engagement we need to have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers.
You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the barbing, I pay my rent. On the barbing, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment. There's another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
I will do everything to take Lagos out of the national grid.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, WAZE is an acronym for What Are You Saying? It launched on Plus TV Africa on the 1st of December 2019 and started off on the weekend belt. But today, it's a double celebration, as we mentioned earlier, because not only is it our first year anniversary, we also launched our daily run. Now, please share how we have impacted your life, as our vision is to drive conversations that shape our tomorrow. And our mission is simple: to inspire, inform, influence your thoughts and action. Now let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join this conversation. Tweet at us at WAZE Show Africa 1 with the hashtag WAZE Show, or send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. So before we go into the conversation, here is a clip from our very first episode of WAZE on Plus TV Africa. Just see the clip. Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? #WAZE. This is our very first episode, and this is a talk show you won't forget, because here we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. Hello and I can't believe it. Okay, so I said two things there: a talk show you won't forget, and talking about topics in the news as it affects us all. So now the question is, you think we have made these two things happen, and have you, been able to forget us? That's one. Or have you been talking about, have we been talking about topics in the news as it affects you? Yeah, as it affects you, or as it affects us all. So let us start the conversation. So let me come to AK, because AK is on standby. Before I come to the ladies in the studio, she's about to run off. AK.
Yes.
Okay, so have we been talking about topics in the news as it affects us all? And have you been able to forget us?
Hi, AK. How can I forget you when you're in my dream?
Wow, what a line.
But really, coming to asking whether we have been talking about things in the news that affect us all, I think we nailed that. So congrats again on being 1 year. And
thank you.
I think that if there's any show that talks about relevant topics, how would they put it in pidgin? As they hot, I think it would be WAZE, and not just talking about them from just talking about it and just being another voice, but looking at the solutions and dissecting the issues with experts. I think we've nailed that. I think that we do that very well.
Thank you. So Lami, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
We are happy to have you, our lady lawyer. So what do you think our journey so far, and how has it impacted your life?
Okay, Waze has given me a platform to speak my mind. And I'm very highly opinionated, and I'm glad I have such platforms to reach out to quite a number of people and a lot of critical issues affecting us and affecting us all. But I think I would like to leave the assessment to our viewers. Probably they can say more about what we've been doing and encourage us and constructively criticize us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let me come to the ladies. Isi.
I have enjoyed my time with Waze. Waze has made me, it's a beautiful platform for you to reach out to individuals, talk to them about issues that affects us all. And the key thing about this is that we are talking about critical issues that I have always swept under the carpet. I have always looked at and said, oh, it's none of my business. But in this case, it has actually made me pay more attention to government policies,
education.
Budget, education, infrastructure, everything that has to do with our what's the right word for this? Our let me put it this way, what actually has to do with us as humans in Nigeria, especially.
Absolutely.
So it has affected us in diverse ways. And I have to say this, that Waze has actually touched the core of every individual in one way or the other.
Absolutely.
Totally.
Absolutely. All right, so Sanzi.
Okay. So here is what...
The history teller.
I like history. I love history. One of my favorite storybooks was on Tsar of Russia, the Buckingham Palace. I love history. I love my history. So yes, being privileged, like I said earlier, to know the history of Waze and looking at it, it's like, you know, when you're pregnant, when you conceive, you have a baby and you're watching the baby grow limbs, ultrasound, there's a limb, there's the brain, there's the bone, and you're like, oh my goodness, this is so real, you know. So I watched Waze come real, and of course, every single thing you said in that opening speech, that throwback, that is exactly what we're living today. We're talking about topical issues that we do not want to be swept under the carpet. As much as we know that Nigerian, of course, we know we are reaching beyond Nigeria, but we are erring from Nigeria, and we know that there are certain issues that the Nigerian territory would frown at. But we are bold enough to take it up. And of course, thank you to Plus TV Africa. We are bold enough to take it up because this is what we know that people want to talk about. This is issues that affect our lives, especially human angle stories. And we are very passionate about, telling people the news as it is, about representing people's opinions and different perspectives. Of course, that's why we have like ladies from different walks of lives. You know, you have your elocutionist, you have the beautician, Vasos Chinos, you have the actor, you have the financial expert, a lawyer, the customer care service, you name it. So we are able to get like a wide coverage of different issues, so everybody feels represented. So I think Waze has definitely come a long way, and everything we had in our synopsis, we're definitely living it. So,
absolutely.
And yes, we're driving conversations, but obviously we're a year old, so there is a long way to go. But so far, with especially feedback from Instagram and Facebook, I think we're definitely touching lives. Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Are you crying? Oh my goodness! Please don't cry.
No, I'm trying not to ruin my makeup. So, AK, I'm going to come back to you. Are you there?
Yeah, very much here.
So, in terms of building, right? Because today we had a very powerful quote. I don't know if you heard that quote when we talked about building. It takes a lot of resilience. It's not a thing of luck. Part of what we do, the kind of conversations we try to drive here is we know that there's a problem and we're trying to push towards that problem. You understand? Because I want us to tweak it a little bit. In terms of building, how far do you think the country or Nigeria is ready for the kinds of conversations that we drive here on Waze?
So the quote is actually a very strong one, because really it's not about work, it's not about luck, it's about hard work. And if Nigeria ready for our discussions is that I don't think they have to be ready, because some of the discussions need to happen. They need to be forced, and they need to be brought forward, and you can't wait for a convenient time to do that.
Absolutely.
They must come, you must address these issues so that tomorrow can be better. And there's something I like about what you're saying. We're having the conversations for tomorrow. Okay, so we're not going to wait until tomorrow comes, until somebody is willing to hear what we are saying. We would say what we need to say so that tomorrow can be better.
Absolutely.
And you recall the discussion that we had last week, Friday, on education. That is a discussion that needs to be had. And if you see how many things we're able to lace into that discussion, because the people that are undereducated will never know their rights. People that are undereducated will never look for a way to vote the right person into power, because now you have the issue of hunger. So is Nigeria ready? I don't know if Nigeria is ready, but are we ready to talk about it? Are we ready to shape the future? I think we are. And Nigeria would have to listen.
Absolutely, they have to listen.
Also, what Eke has just said is also about the mindset of those who are coming right behind us, and those who have even gone ahead of us, because they wouldn't even believe it that women are the ones that are actually talking about these things now. So they wouldn't even say, okay, they're just gossiping, it's a gossip show. But the key thing is they are actually driving conversations, and these conversations are actually touching the core of our existence. Individuals might say, like AK said about the education,
the topic we
had last
week Friday.
In education, people go out. The children go to school. They just stick to the cognitives. They don't think about the skills and life skills that these children need to acquire to be able to,
And these are things that we keep on talking about
revamping the education sector
and all of that.
These are key things that we also need to drive to the fore for individuals or the government to be aware of and look for a way to modify.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, you want to add something?
I was going to say that one of the things that we do very well on this show, which I love, is the fact that when we have guests, especially the guests that can answer questions that everybody is asking, we ask the right questions, because we know that this is what everybody, this is what everybody wants to know. So I think I would have to applaud us. Well, I don't know if it's the right thing to do, but sometimes you don't wait for others to applaud you. You learn to applaud yourself, especially when you believe
blow your own horn.
That you're doing the right thing. And I strongly believe that we are asking the right questions. It is hard sometimes. And sometimes you see them dilly-dallying around because they can't answer it. But deep inside, you're asking the right question, and that's just a satisfaction.
Absolutely. Okay, so I want to come to Lami, because Lami has been really, really consistent and committed, coming on Ways and all of that. I just wanted to ask, how has it been for you, because it's not been easy juggling work, and this goes across everybody, right? So we're going to go one after the other, but let me come to Lami first. How has it been for you? Because before now, prior to now, were you thinking of, doing something like this? And when it eventually came, how has it shaped, how you think? Because I hear EC saying that she's more conscious about the news and all of that. Now, nothing passes through your nose. You must stop and read. You want to know what's happening.
Exactly.
So, Lami, how has that impacted you? And how have you been able to juggle, running a show and, your work?
Okay, I would like to apologize that I'm not on set this evening. I feel so bad about it, but you can see that I am very tired.
I can see.
So when it was the weekend, though it took my party hours, now you are.
I'm bare mama.
That reduced my party lifestyle a bit, but it was worth the sacrifice. But now that we're doing the daily run with going to work, then particularly because I have a child that is not in school at the moment and she's a toddler, I don't have a help at the moment. Coronavirus just did it for me this year. So it's a bit of a struggle, but I definitely know that with more time and trying to organize myself, I'll get it right. I'll get it right. Have I been able to answer the question, or this is just one part of the question?
This is one part of the question. Well, let me come to AK, then we'll do the part two.
You just remind me.
I will remind you. AK, how has it been juggling? Because you never thought about doing this. You know, you have a 9 to 5. Some of us are business women. We can be flexible with our time, but you are in proper 9 to 5. You know, how has it been for you?
Okay, so the funny thing is that all through my early life, I've always found myself either behind the camera or behind an article. I've always used different platforms to air my views. It would surprise you to know that in my early teens, I was also on a TV show in River State then, local River State. And I think I was on that show for close to 3 years.
Wow.
So I've always found myself having a platform where to air my voice, but how has Ways been for me now that I have a full-time job and I'm a full-time mother too? It's been tough, but I would like to borrow Lami's words to say it's been worth it. And I also thank your understanding, Uwa, for days that I can't make it, because, you know, I like to say I'm superhuman, but I'm not superhuman. And I just want to thank all the times that you have understood, especially during the COVID time when I couldn't, we're still in the COVID time, but during the lockdown time when I couldn't leave my home. I also want to thank technology, because right now I'm here and I'm with you at the same time.
Yeah.
So we have leveraged technology, we have evolved to a place where we've got to understand the time. So has it really been easy or convenient? Not really, but is it worth it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. If it was not worth it, I wouldn't be doing it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So 1 minute each before we take take a break.
And Sanzi.
I mean, for me, well, as everyone knows, I am an actress. So, and as an actress, I get the luxury of, you know, picking my scene, my scripts, and okay, I'll do this job. And well, there are days when, or there are weeks when I'm gone for maybe days, weeks. So obviously on those days I can't be on the show. But when I'm available, of course I'm willing to make the sacrifice or whatever it takes to be on the show, because I see the value here, right? So and it has been worth it. I'm a very sacrificial person. Once I have value, if I attach value to something, I will make so much sacrifice for it. And I think Ways has been so worth it.
Absolutely. Right. Okay, now if you want to make me to blush. So quickly in 1 minute, because we have to go on a break now.
Ways has been worth it in every ramification. Because
anti-elocution is
not because of the fact that, you know, that it has been beneficial, but the key thing is you're able to actually lend your voice and say it. Yes, there are times I stutter.
Oh yeah, you've grown.
Oh, there were times I stuttered, but I have learned a lot on my way. I've learned from my co-anchors. I've learned from the individuals around me. I have learned in the course of the job that I have a lot to learn.
Absolutely.
And learning is a constant thing that doesn't stop. So it has been a beautiful journey for me so far, and I know we have more legs to go.
Yeah, we do. So we'll take a short break. When we return, we'll continue the conversation. Please stay with us. Now, thanks for staying with us. Before I continue the conversation, let me just quickly take some comments from our viewers. Someone says, Angela, oh, hashtag Ways. I love Ways. Congrats on 1 year and wishing you many more years. You talk about issues that affect me. Thank you so much, Angela. And Rolake says, hashtag Ways. You have been a breath of fresh air coming on TV. Whoa. The topics make me think and I am more informed. Thank you so much, Rolake. This is from Saliu. He says, I was not sure about women coming together to talk. I just decided to give it a trial. Ways, you have done a great job, and hopefully you'll keep improving the quality of discussion. Thank you so much, Saliu. This is Bayo from Germany. I try to join in from Germany. I must say, great job all the time. You must keep the conversations going and educate us more. Thank you so much, Bayo. And Dickport, this is finally from Dickport. He says, wow, shocked that most of the ladies have a 9 to 5. Absolutely. You guys are super women and love the quality of discourse. Yes, so thank you so much. Now, if you're just tuning in, we are still celebrating our 1st year anniversary, and the discussion is our journey so far. And please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join this conversation. Tweet at us at +TV Africa, Wayshow Africa 1 with the hashtag Wayshow, or send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. So today is a day of throwback. So let's do another quick throwback. So on the 1st of December, we had 3 amazing guests. Our very first episode, we had Priscilla, who is Executive Director of Community Health Support and Empowerment Initiative, and she's a WHO Advisory Group member on women and girls living with HIV. She's actually someone living with HIV. We had Juliet Mobo. She is a healthcare professional. And we had Maji Aida, a fitness instructor, celebrity fitness instructor.
It's so cute.
Yes, and because it was, 1st of December still is and will be World AIDS Day. We focused on fighting the stigma and paying attention to our health and living healthier lifestyle. So watch this clip. We'll be right back.
I came to know of my HIV status exactly February 2001. Wow. That is about 19 years now. Wow. You know you can live with HIV up to 15 years without knowing that you have it. I was like 21, 22, now I'm over 40. Wow. So the reason why so many people would prefer to die with their HIV status is because of the stigma in the society, the communities. You see your own best friend turning against you just because he knows your HIV status. But if you don't know, your friendship will be so intact. So some people, for them, losing their friendship because of HIV status, looking at the kind of lifestyle, they may be afraid.
Regardless of the kind of illness, everyone needs a support system.
Awesome.
Everyone needs a support system. And it's expected that your family should be the primary support system. But what Family Bond teaches is that bond is not necessarily by blood. Then my encounter with patients, I discovered that most of the problems that landed patients on hospital beds had little or nothing to do with the diagnosed illness.
True.
So the first patient I had in contact with was one that had high blood pressure. He had a killer value, as in he had no business walking with his 2 legs. And when I got closer to him, I discovered that he had problem with his finance, had problem with not getting married, had problem with his job, had problem because the mother was selling household items to foot his hospital bills, had problem with his career. So that made me now realize that, okay, why not step out from the hospital environment, go to the field, where people will have a healthier connection with everything that they are engaged with. Your career, what's your relationship with the career you're practicing now? What's your relationship with money? What's your relationship with your family members? In family nursing, we say one thing, that the patient is half of the patient. The other half is the family.
The idea is to prevent you from getting to the hospital, prevent you from having to deal with any ailments or anything, because most ailments are lifestyle related, based on your lifestyle choices.
Yes.
Okay, especially if you're somebody that lives a sedentary life, which a lot of people do, especially here in Lagos, or in Nigeria. Yes, you spend most of your days sitting in traffic, sitting in an office, getting in elevators, and with the cost of labor, domestic staff, people get lazy.
Not to do nothing.
I've been there. I've heard myself calling out for my cook to bring me something from across the room. So It starts to get to you, and these are the things that actually start to lead to complications and problems in your life if you're not active enough. Are you vigorously active? Because it's not enough to just be walking. It's not enough to do mild exercising.
I start to work out today.
Yes.
I follow your routine. I come to meet you. I first of all pay because I know you charge very well. You know, I meet you and I start to work out today. Yeah. And I'm very religious. What is the expected time frame for me to start to see changes?
I would say give it a year.
A year.
To be realistic.
If
you want to see change,
I'm expecting it
give
in
it
a
a year.
week.
So that you can understand that it's a lifestyle.
Okay.
That's the most important aspect. It is a lifestyle. So it cannot be a lifestyle if it's not sustainable.
I get to wow. We have really grown.
Yes, we have. What a conversation.
But first of all, I want to say thank you so much to all three guests. They made it
our very
first, and they made it worth it. Yeah. But if you see so many changes, I was just writing, our plants were still shorter. They've grown taller. Yeah. It's 1 year later. You know, we had colored cups.
Yes.
Now we drink water because we're living healthy. You know, and our table was a lot smaller. Now it's bigger.
Thanks to COVID awareness, social distancing.
You know, but talking about health and talking about paying attention to our health, you know, because it's also World AIDS Day as well. We can't take that away from it. I mean, if for anything, I just want to ask quickly, what has COVID taught us? Because we are also going to do something, you know, to tell people that, yes, so this is what we're talking about, you know, in terms of paying attention to our health. Just, you know, just to say one quickly. So I'll come to AK, then Lami, then Sanzi and EC. What has COVID, what has 2020 taught us, you know, in terms of paying attention to our health?
What has it not taught us? That should be the question. Because I think it's taught us everything. Before you cough and not worry. But you cough now, you're gauging this cough. Am I having difficulty breathing? You know, it's hard to swallow. Am I feverish? And even with the children, so you're always conscious about whatever it is that's wrong with you. You're checking the symptoms. For your children, you're checking that they're eating healthier. In fact, you're checking that you're eating healthier. Have you seen, we've all gotten into fruits, vegetables, taking a walk. Before COVID, in my estate, the street where I live, nobody walks. Nobody's walking or jogging. But now it's almost looking like the Lekki Ikoyi link bridge. So people are more conscious. And that's because, again, people have time now than they had before COVID.
Yes.
Now, we don't all have to go to work and rush in traffic in the morning because you can work from home. You can afford to walk. You can afford to walk by wake up by 6 a.m., 7 a.m., take a walk, and then by 8 o'clock, you just enter your house, take a bath, and you're sitting in front of your system. So we have adopted healthy lifestyles. For me, I would say that we're more conscious of what we eat, more conscious of what we ingest. We're more conscious of our environment. You know, if somebody's coughing and it's not covering their mouth or not wearing nose mask, you're like, oh, Jesus.
Sanitizers.
It's not just for yourself, but you also conscious for your neighbor.
Yeah.
Because it's not a joke.
How about you, Lami?
You want me to say the truth? I haven't really learned anything from COVID.
Why? Why do you say so?
Okay. I have learned to manage my time more. I have learned to not cough indiscriminately. I have learned, as AK had said, to take more fruits. I started incorporating a lot of, healthy tips into my meals, and then started checking more on people. And I've learned this year. I've learned that it's okay if you can't achieve all your dreams.
Absolutely.
The important is staying alive and being healthy.
Absolutely.
So I think it's taught me more to value my health and people around me, to check on people more.
Absolutely. How about you, EC?
Sorry, Ma, can I second the Lami said about it's okay not to achieve everything. I just want me to second that it's okay to breathe. It's okay to
like survive the year.
To make the money you wanted to make. So yes, I just wanted to second that.
I've gone through pains in diverse ways, and this year it has taken me to another level. This year, COVID, not to COVID though, but this year I've lost about 3-4 people I hold dearly, and it has taught me to actually value my relationships. When I wake up in the morning on my bed and I go back to my bed to sleep, I'm so thankful, because I've seen people wake up on their bed and end up in a mortuary. So it has been an eye-opener for me, the spirit this year, 2020. That is one thing I've really learned. And also I've taken online seriously, especially in my business, which is elocution. So I have learned to actually take my business out there. And in the process of doing my business, I have had more time to myself.
Absolutely.
So learning is a constant thing. I have learned from diverse ways, from diverse things. In fact, anything, just bring it on. I'm learning. Thank you.
Sanzi, how about you?
Right. Okay. So COVID, especially during the lockdown, I spent a lot of time just with myself, and naturally, I love spending time with myself. But it hits different when you know you want to go out, but you can't go out. I mean, usually I would spend time with myself and I can go out whenever I want. But then you're like, oh my goodness, restrictions and all whatnot. So spiritually, it was a good time out for me. It was I went through a lot of spiritual reformation process and all that, which I may not want to go into. Absolutely. So I don't, get people talking. But anyway, that was my experience. That was one of it. And then, especially after the AMVCA scare, where it was as if, I think it was announced that one person had coronavirus. So everybody who attended the AMVCA 2020 had to go into quarantine. So it wasn't an option whether you wanted or you didn't want it. You had to, And so the second thing that COVID taught me, I'm not like so. What do you call it? I'm not so sanitization or washing hands obsessed, but I learned to do that. Absolutely. And then wearing the face mask. I'm not a fan of wearing face masks. I'm still trying to get used to it. And then the third thing that COVID changed in me is the fear of cough. I'm literally afraid of people coughing around me. It's like, cough, sanitizers.
Okay. So I think. Well, I must say. I don't say this often, but it's one thing for you to have a dream and have a vision, and to say, okay, I think I can contribute to my. I'm very passionate about Nigeria. Anybody that knows me knows that I want to say a better Nigeria. I want to see a better Nigeria, and I believe so much in mind transformation, as you've rightly said earlier. And so I want to say thank you to every single lady that is a team member on Ways. I want to say a big thank you, because this is not a vision that is on one person's shoulder. It's something that it has to spread. It has to be different people coming with powerful voices, coming together to fight this cause, to build a better Nigeria, to build a better young generation. We are targeting young people. We want to see our youth doing amazing things. And Ways for us is the platform that we're using. We want to drive those conversations that transforms life. We want to say, you know what? I watched this show and I learned X, Y, Z, and I implemented. Because it's one thing for you to know something, it's another thing for you to act on it. So I have the capacity to plan, think, plan, and execute. But not many people get to that execution stage. So I try as much as possible to say, you know what, this is a dream, this is a plan. Can we move it on? So for every single person that has been on this team, our producers, our back cameramen at the back end that people don't see, they have been amazing from day one. We've had our ups and our downs. But the truth is that when the vision is strong, right, it will rise above challenges. And it will continue to breathe. And also, I must say thank you to Hagan Esther, our makeup brand. I mean, from day one, she supported us, and she's going to support us for life, I'm so grateful to her. I'm so grateful to D&M Links. I'm grateful to, what's her name? What's it called? Ibis Furniture, Ibis Gems Furnishing. She did the set. D&M built the set. Ibis did the couch and everything. Then Treasure Cake. Treasure Cake has always supported us. She brought a cake for us on our lunch date, and she told me, Uwa, what are we doing? She was one that called me. What are we doing for your anniversary? It's 1 year. So she brought a lovely cake for us. Thank you so much, Treasure Cake, for the cake.
Thank you.
So
I send my cake.
Yeah, we're going to Bluetooth your cake for you. But I just want to say that we have a long way to go.
Yes,
absolutely.
Right? Nigeria did not get to where we are in one day. It didn't get here overnight.
Right.
When I was driving to work today, I was thinking, and I would like for everybody to just answer like in 1 minute. Do we need to keep talking? Do we need to keep saying these things? Because it's like a repetition. You go on radio, it's the same problem they're talking about. You go on TV, it's the same problem they're talking about. Why are we here? Why is Ways here? Do we need to keep talking? You know, I would like to just hear, you know, in one second rather, you know, because we've run out of time. AK, what do you think? Do we need to keep talking? Do we need to keep saying what we're saying?
We can never say enough. So I would say we should keep talking, because until things change, our voices need to be heard.
Absolutely.
So yes, we should keep talking.
Absolutely. We have a little guest in the building, Fanny. We're doing this for your generation. So Lami, do you think we should keep talking and we should keep saying all the things?
So you see my life.
Yes.
Okay, I think we should continue talking. And hopefully it will get to the right quarters with time. I think we should continue talking, expanding the conversation, bringing a lot to the fore, and raising people's consciousness and awareness. Absolutely. And I think with that, we're going to get to our destination. Definitely we should.
Absolutely. How about you?
Absolutely. I second them. We should keep talking, because talking is the only thing we have. There is a saying, if we don't talk, we die. We talk, we die. So let's talk.
Sorosoke generation.
Proudly Sorosoke generation. Oh, there is this saying that transformation comes through repetition. So a lot of times when you hear things the first time, it doesn't click. But when you hear it over and over again, somehow your mind starts, that's how you like hear a song over and over again, and then you can unconsciously just read everything. So when you have that repetition going on, it's only a matter of time before the mind starts getting transformed. So yes, we haven't talked enough. We need to keep talking and talking, because we get to that, when we get to that transformation place, that's when the execution we are waiting for, that's when we can achieve it.
Absolutely. And I think on that note, thank you so much, everyone, again. Thank you to the entire team on Plus TV, the management. We're excited, we're grateful. We're going to keep this fire burning, and we're going to keep bringing great conversations to your screen. Now, it's been a very insightful conversation. Keep all the conversation going on all our social media platforms at Ways Show Africa on IG, or at Ways Show Africa 1 on Twitter, as we continue to hear what you're saying. Now, in case you missed today's quote, here it is again. It's very important. It's not about luck. It's about hard work and a relentless drive for constant progress. We'll see you live tomorrow at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation to your screen.
It is engagement we need to have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers. You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the barbing, I pay my rent. On the barbing, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment. There's another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
I will do everything to take Lagos out of the national grid.
today we have National Assembly that is as dormant as we the people.
They still believe that the Nigerian youths are just the way they used to be in the past. They don't know that the Nigerian youths are no longer Nigerian citizens only. We are now global citizens operating from all over the planet. The era of shutting down people is gone forever. And the government should know that society has evolved.
What is special about refineries that we cannot figure out, but that Niger can figure out?
When Boko Haram started and we said, look, you need to speak up, they said, oh no, it's against Christians. But today, even governors are being attacked.
I think sometimes our leaders just think maybe we're all morons because some actions they take, you just, you ask yourself, do I look this dumb? Do we look like dummies?
We can't talk about education reform if we don't decolonize our education system.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize. Because it's just cultural. And I think it's just human nature.
They stop paying us salary. I don't like remembering it.
I am angry at Nigeria. I'm angry at this government which seems to be letting us down. I'm angry at us as a people.
In the process of struggling to free myself from his hand, he tore my pants and he raped me.
Yes, I commit offense truly.
Young girl, do you know where you are going? I say, I'm going to America. I say, now so that they talk, you are going to Libya, which America?
As they do mark our place, some people they die now.
This is Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
The Breakfast, dissecting and analyzing top stories in the news.
The mess of 16 years cannot be clean. And so for 2 years, they also started adding mess to the mess. If the terrorists killed 100 people, that is probably not news. If they killed the governor, that is a big achievement. Nigerians are really upset. Labour cannot go there to discuss for the generality of Nigerians.
Join the conversation online on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Send us your comments via WhatsApp on 0906 000 5719. If you have an opinion, share it with us. Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
This is it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Bookie November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Cerebral palsy is a condition that results from a damage to a part of the brain that controls motor movement. Cerebral itself talks about brain, and palsy talks about muscles. So put the two together, we're looking at a situation where that part of the brain that sends motor signals to parts of the body that need to move your muscles is damaged. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's totally dead, which is why you find people affected in the various ways. But it just means that the individual is unable to control optimally the movements of his or her muscles.
It's a disorder that affects the movement, the posture, or the tone of an individual, usually as a result of a damage or an injury that's been done to a developing immature brain. Usually would occur before, some occurs before birth, while the baby is still in the womb, where for some others it occurs around birth. standard definition usually covers the time of the birth, the time of the child being in the womb, to about a maximum of 3 years old. Simply put, it means there's a damage or injury to this brain that is still developing that results in a dysfunction in movement of that child, or the posture or the tone. When we say tone, we're referring to how rigid or how flexible that child or the group of muscles is in that child. So it depends on the extent of the damage. That will also determine the extent of the symptoms you will see in that child as regards to movement, posture, and tone. For most cerebral palsies, we don't get to diagnose them until the child is an infant. The infant is between delivery to about 1 year old, and for some preschool, because that's where you get to start seeing the signs and the symptoms of them. If you have a child before the age of 1 that is predominant, already has a preference of what handedness they're going to be, that could be a red flag. Ideally, most children start to choose what hand they decide to use above 1 year. So if you have an infant who already decides, who's already choosing, who's preferring to use one side of the body over the other, that gives you a red flag that this child could have cerebral palsy.
The concept of cerebral palsy is wrapped in mystery, so to speak, as not so much is still known about the condition.
What causes cerebral palsy? There could be genetic abnormality in the development of this brain. So for the child, there is no injury, so to speak, from the outside. It is just a dysfunction in the genetic makeup of the development of the brain. So the child is born with that defect already, and then there's a problem with the muscle tone, with the rigidity, with the posture. While for some mothers, it could be as a result of an infection to the mother while being pregnant of the child, and then that affects the development of the baby. Commonly, we have viruses like herpes virus affecting the mother, measles, rubella, and Zika virus. If the infection affects the mother to a point where it is transferred to the child, it could, in some cases, lead to a malfunction in the development of that child, in the brain of that child, which could now show up later on as a defect in the muscle tone. Also, around the delivery of the baby, tenuous and strenuous delivery process, prolonged ones, where the child there's an issue with the delivery of oxygen to the brain. The developing brain, the neonate or the new baby's brain cannot survive without oxygen. It is highly dependent on oxygen. So if there's a delay in the delivery of oxygen, that during the resuscitation of the child or the separation of the child from the mother, or during the delivery, it depends. For example, when the child is not well positioned and coming out during the delivery process, that could lead to a delay or disruption in the flow of oxygen to that brain, and then we could have a damage to the brain. For some babies also, the pregnancy was fine, there was no genetic problem, and then delivery also fine. Then they get infected either by by bacteria that cause meningitis or encephalitis. Meningitis is an infection that affects the covering of the brain, or encephalitis is an infection that infects the brain substance. That also could lead to a damage to that brain because it's still developing, and then the aftermath is seen as cerebral palsy affecting the posture, the movements of that child.
This condition is not contagious, it is not infectious, and it has no cure.
Once we accept our limits, we go beyond them is a popular saying of Albert Einstein. Same is the story of Tobiloba Ajayi, a Nigerian lawyer called to bar at 23, a solicitor, an author, and advocate living with cerebral palsy. Toby's life exemplifies the possibility for every child with disability to achieve their life's dreams and biggest goals.
I like to say that I'm a disability management advocate with a special focus on inclusive education for children with cerebral palsy. And people ask me, like, why cerebral palsy? And I always say, well, the answer is pretty simple. It's because I live with cerebral palsy myself. When I was about 3, I got enrolled into the educational system. I went through primary school. I actually went through the Gifted Children's Program, which is like for the really smart kids. Yeah. And in 2011, I went off to get a master's in international law. And in the process, I wrote my first book, then wrote 2 more books after that. So I'm a 3-time published author. And then in 2016, I got on the Mandela Washington Fellowship for Young African Leaders. And I did get on the Yali Network for West African Leaders in 2015. And then I did get on the Mandela Washington Fellowship for Young African Leaders in 2016.
Cerebral palsy is a disorder of movement and posture. It is a medical condition, but there are myths around it.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize. Because it's just cultural. And I think it's just human nature. If we don't understand something, we have to find a way to explain it. So it's either we make it a stigma issue, we make it a religious issue, we make it a demonic issue. A parent reached out to me earlier this week and said they are calling her child a snake. And I was just like, oh gosh, here we go again with this ignorance that is a part of our culture. It's just ridiculous.
In Nigeria, more than 100,000 cases of cerebral palsy are recorded yearly, reports say. 1 in every 4 children is diagnosed with the condition. Sadly, both our society and government have no adequate provisions to care for people with this condition as yet.
Our government does not have a working policy as to the management of people with disabilities generally. Now, do we have written policies? Yes, Lagos State has Lagos State Special Persons Law that was passed in 2011 that was supposed to protect the rights of persons with disabilities in Lagos State. The question is that, does that policy work? The answer is not really. Do we even have a federal law? No. We're still chasing that one across the National Assembly since 2008 or something. It's still there. It has not been passed yet. But even the state laws that have been passed can be enforced better, can be implemented better, but they are not.
Like Toby, Bisola is raising a child with same condition and, of course, not without the challenges and issues of stigmatization.
I've had issue with my families, saying, okay, you're the only one in this family that has given birth to a child with disability. People will tell you that it's your sin, or it's the sin of your forefathers that you are bearing. People would, come at you. They practically attack you. You can't take your child with disability out without having a stare. People stare at you like, why are you bringing this child out? This child, you should just go and lock him up. There are people that would advise you that, you can actually get medical assistance to terminate his life. Have him killed and all that. School environment is an environment where everybody comes to, where children actually learn socialization. And that is his first contact to experiencing the real world. And I discovered that they would put him in a dark corner in the school and lock the room. I go to work, I come back, where's my son, where's my son? They go to the corner and bring him out. So I observed over a period of time, and I realized that, this isn't what I'm looking for. People say a lot, and it can be painful, especially the persons that are the closest to you, When they look at your son and then they say, okay, where do you get this one from? What kind of thing is this? Abirun, Obanje, all these words. Or they even make gesture of the kind of child that you've given birth to.
Helen Obiageli Oshikoya, child development clinician, has identified a gap in our society.
There's actually a school health policy of 2006, which is endorsed by UNICEF, which actually says that children should be tested, physically and mentally before going into school and subsequent to when they're actually in school. So this system allows us to create an inclusive educational system. It doesn't matter if the child actually does have a disability, the child should be given the opportunity to actually go into school.
Every child, not just cerebral palsy children, every child can learn. But some of them learn differently. What that means is that as parents, as educators, we can't put them all in one basket. We must meet them, engage them at their level, and then bring them up to some level where they're up to speed and they can go on. What this here means is that, yes, we must look at special education. And we must also look at inclusive education. But to have proper inclusion, we must prepare the child for inclusion. We must sort out the children in special education to see that, yes, they have reached a level of what we call independent living, and they have also shows a level of intellectual acuity, which means they can fit into a normal class. Then we now have to make sure that even the class, those are the students and the teachers, are prepared to accept this strange-looking person.
I do appreciate the fact that because parents don't understand things, the tendency is that they are afraid of things. So what we try to do is that subsequent to, before the screening starts in that school, we have like a parent workshop whereby we can educate the parents, make them understand it is a policy, and make them understand that it might not, the screening might not apply to your child, but there are children that have issues and the parents don't know how to go about it and are, quote unquote, in denial. This helps them to face the fact, because the earlier you start, the better the outcome.
Today, Toby lives challenging the notion that those living with cerebral palsy cannot learn. She started a project called Let CP Kids Learn with one vision: to see a Nigeria where children with cerebral palsy are offered inclusive mainstream education as a first option, as a right, not as the exception that currently exists in our society. Gbenga Ayodada has a brother with cerebral palsy. He shares the vital role of siblings in supporting a family member living with the condition.
When we got to know, we became more tolerant of him, because there's some things that we did, the reaction to him, and those things that I did were because of his condition. But now that we knew better, that it's not his fault, we learned to empathize with him, like help him when he's walking, he's stumbling or he's wobbling, we quickly step in and help him. All of those things, we're still giving him tough love, but we became more tolerant of his excesses.
Tobiloba is someone you want to know for her abilities and not her disability.
She's a talker, as you may already know. So it was easy to look beyond that. She could do a lot of things herself. She was in the hostel for the 3 years she spent in my school, SS1 to 3. She has definitely beaten all the odds that I think most people face.
In the end, disability is a matter of perception. If you can do one thing well, you are needed by someone, and the world needs more people standing tall above disability.
We can't talk about education reform if we don't decolonize our education system.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize, because it's just cultural. And I think it's just human nature.
They stop paying us salary. I don't like remembering it.
I am angry at Nigeria. I'm angry at this government which seems to be letting us down. I'm angry at us as a people.
In the process of struggling to free myself from his hand, he tore my pants and he raped me.
Yes, I commit offense truly.
Young girl, do you know where you are going? I say, I'm going to America. I say, now so that they talk, you are going to Libya. Which America?
as it then do mark our place. Some people they die now.
This is Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
It is engagement we need to have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers. You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the Babin, I pay my rent. From the Babin, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment, and another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
I will do everything to take Lagos out of the national grid.
Many thanks for joining us on News on the Hour on Plus TV Africa.
State government has approved a bill for the establishment of State Security Network Agency, Amoteco.
We have the highest number of extremely poor people in the world.
He's not concerned about lecturers that are raping students that are under their care. He's concerned about them being stigmatized.
And I can tell you that he will get the result in full measure. He cannot avoid responsibility.
Why the focus on Africa at this point?
The news only cover, one side of Africa, so we always felt like the picture is incomplete, so we need the whole picture.
65% of these people, whom we term as the urban poor, live in settlements, otherwise known as slums.
This is just the tip of the iceberg of the road situations in Lagos, from the mainland to the island.
It's been a closed-door security meeting as the retreat for senior police officers hits day 3.
There's this basket or there's this bowl that we all come to the center to pick from. Everybody has to see Nigeria as an investment vehicle, not as a distributive mechanism.
Still on the foreign scenes, Russia has flatly denied allegations that is spreading disinformation about the new coronavirus outbreak on social media.
Australian Open debutant Coco Gauff defeated defending champion Naomi Osaka in 2 straight sets.
Kenneth Okonkwo Kanayo and Bob Manuel Udoku have been conferred with the Veteran Actor of Nigeria Award.
This is Plus TV Africa.
Plus TV Africa.
Plus TV Africa.
Big stories live here.
If you live in Lagos or visiting Lagos, the commercial nerve center of Nigeria, and with a population of over 20 million persons, you would notice the traffic is almost a daily life situation. To ease this burden, the Lagos State government have put in place Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, LASMA, to control the traffic situation. But as you would imagine, it is still overwhelming. Well, recently we began to notice a different kind of traffic warden on the Lagos Island part, not employed by the government, but on voluntary basis. They are physically challenged. Ismail and Ibrahim used to be beggars, but after Lagos State government placed a ban on begging, they decided to do something different.
Na yi niyyar wannan aiki, kuma ko da yaushe ina nan cikin wannan aiki. Ba gudu ba jara ba, gwamnati ta taimaka mun, a taimaka mun, ma ko da wani lokaci yana son ganin mu za a gamu, gwamnati ta taimaka mun. Allah muna son wannan aikin saboda ba ma son bara, wannan baracin ya ishe mu, shi yasa muna wannan aikin.
Ina roƙon mutane waɗanda suke masu kuɗi, Hausawanmu, wuci Yoruba, wuci Igbo, ina roƙon su taimaka mana da wannan abin da muke yi. Ko aikin yi ko allowance duk abin da ya samu muna da bukata.
Motorists attest to the fact that their voluntary services have been quite helpful while calling for some sort of formal payment be made to them.
We really thank God for them that they are here. If not, there will be a lot of traffic. They are helping us here very well. And we want government, at least if they can do something for them, maybe little things at the end of the month, because we really like that. We too that are driving always give them something. If not because of them, there will be a lot of traffic over here.
Most times when I pass around, I saw that particular guy there doing some traffic work there. I'm encouraged because one, they are giving them a kind of privilege to also try and use their skills, and they can also add to the society by also doing some other work like that. It's very good. So that will be a kind of an encouragement to other people so that they will not look down on anybody that is... they're also human beings like us. So for me, it's encouraging, and I think it's a very better idea.
I will support them at the same time just because of the traffic men are not much, and the LASMA are not here, and the policemen are not here, the PCRC members are not here, which I'm one of the members, but it's okay, we support them. At least if government can... Lagos State government can look at a way they can just reach out to this one by giving them other uniforms to, perform this duty they are doing at the same time. If the government can be able to reach out to them with some little funds every month, so to encourage them to do what they're doing instead of then going on the street begging people money.
This uniform, government does not give me this uniform. So the work what they do inside this order. Many people that go see me, they go give me something I go buy. So now the thing I go take buy this uniform because na him my uniform, na him the ID card.
I doubt if the community were the one that contracted them. I believe they are volunteers. But however, whichever way, I think the community should take advantage in the sense that they've changed from, instead of begging, they've decided to volunteer their service in controlling traffic, and basically they are trying. I remember sometime, was it early January or between early January and late December, I can't place it, at going close to a roundabout. If you're coming out from Etimi and the other ending, there's this crippled guy. Each time I close from work, I'm always seeing him there around 4, 5, 6. He's doing an amazing job there because usually that place used to be a spot for heavy traffic. Everybody wants to move, and so if we are the local government chair lady, or if there's a way we can get across to her, let her just take advantage and recruit them, and even if it's just a commission, it should be placed on a payroll or something.
In a separate event, we caught up with Princess Rashidat Adu, the executive chairman at Etiosa local government area, where they serve, and she says this of them.
For the traffic officers that you said you see, they've attached themselves to the local government. Sincerely, I didn't give them jackets because I saw them too on the road, and I approached them. When I see them, I just give them money because I believe that they are looking for what to put in their mouth. And sometimes I call them to the office. I said, I don't want to be seeing you at the roundabout because of your own security. You never can tell. A vehicle can be coming now and something will happen. I am the first point of call. Because of that, I try to discourage them from controlling the traffic. But because they now told me that this is what they get, at least people that are passing, the motorists, they'll give them, they'll tip them and all that. I said, okay, what do you think we can do that will bring money to you? And some came, they said they want to go back to their villages. And I gave them money. I said, okay, when you get back to your village, what will you be doing? One said you'll be doing shoemaker. One said he will be selling provision. And I said, okay, how much do you think that will cost? And they mentioned the money, very ridiculous. But in my own little way, I gave to them. And I asked them to go back. Funny enough, they didn't go back. You will still see these same people on the road controlling traffic. So what do? There's nothing you do about it. Because in a way, that is how they get their own livelihood, and stopping them from doing it will be a harm to them. And I don't want to harm anybody. As much as I want to add value to the life of the people around Victoria Island, I think since they said that is what they want to do, let them continue doing.
However, motorists like Carlo, on the contrary, feels they are not needed all the time.
It could be better when there's much traffic, but now there is no traffic. Staying here is not all that conducive now because I suppose to have already passed.
While doing their bit to ease off the traffic, Ibrahim acknowledges that they meet motorists who sometimes are impatient with them.
I don't forget for that day. I just stopped the one person for this job. The time when you come block the road, I say stop, make it one person pass. So that time, for this man, I beg and say stop. No one stop. You ready to jam me for the motor? You don't know, say, you see me, say me, I am disabled. Why no stop? I know they stop him for nothing. Because he come blocking the road. He come show me, say he get power. He blocked me for this, my eyes. Remain small, it will scatter my eyes.
Well, with over 1.6 million vehicles plying Lagos roads daily, just maybe volunteers like Ibrahim and Ismail are a great asset aiding government strategies to tackle high-volume traffic across the state. For Plus TV Africa, Amaka Okoye.
On Plus TV Africa News, House of Representatives invites President Buhari over security situation in the country. On the foreign scene, United Nations Refugee Agency says Eritrea refugees in Ethiopia are running out of food. And outside Africa, Wisconsin and Arizona certify Biden wins in yet another blow to President Trump. Thank you for joining us on the news. My name is Felicity Ezewike. We'll begin with the commemoration of World AIDS Day. The World Health Organization, WHO's Director General, has reiterated the need for governments to prioritize investment in healthcare. Plus TV Africa's Jacinta Obuku reports.
According to a UNICEF report, over 170,000 adolescents aged 10 to 19 were infected with HIV globally, bringing the total number of adolescents living with HIV to 1.7 million. This data, along with the increased challenge of the COVID-19 pandemic, ending the HIV/AIDS epidemic, resilience and impact, was chosen as a theme for this year to push for continued action, with a call from WHO for more investment and increased access to health care across the globe.
It's time to invest, innovate, and integrate HIV services with primary health care and the pandemic response. We must continue to prioritize the most vulnerable, such as young people and other key populations most affected by HIV.
A UNICEF official interviewed on Plus TV Africa's Breakfast Show noted that there has been promising progress in HIV response, but there remains a worrying increase in the number of people infected.
Well, the antiretroviral therapy has had an impact on the numbers of HIV/AIDS in general, but that does not take away the fact that up till now, we still have a huge number of people that have had the virus, 38 million to be exact. And out of those, 35 million have since lost their lives to this epidemic.
Are Nigerians aware of their status? Some of them spoke with us on this.
Yes, I have been, I think twice. That last time I did that was 2017.
Tested? No, I haven't been tested. I'm not afraid of AIDS because I'm aware of it. I know what to do to prevent it. I also know how to teach other people about it also. At least once you are aware, you'll be able to keep away from whatever it is.
I'm not afraid of it, but the only thing is that ABCC abstinence is the most important thing. Yes, I was tested, but that would have been about 2 years ago.
World AIDS Day is commemorated on December 1st every year around the world to show support for people living with HIV and to remember those who have died from AIDS-related illness. Jacinta Obiuku, Plus TV Africa.
Incredible advances have no doubt been made in the development of effective HIV treatments that allow people living with HIV to suppress their virus to undetectable levels and avoid transmitting it to others. This era of effective treatment with antiretrovirals is undoubtedly a huge leap forward from the early beginnings of the HIV crisis. But the fact remains that there are almost 38 million people living with HIV worldwide. These individuals still have to take a lifetime of treatments which can take a significant emotional and physical toll. To lift the substantial burdens of daily treatment and social stigma associated with HIV, a cure is essential towards accomplishing the goal of ending the HIV pandemic. Now, with this in mind, we speak tonight with Dr. Maduike Ezibe of the Michael Opara University of Agriculture, who a few years ago announced he found a cure for the virus. Where are we in Nigeria? Thank you very much for joining us, Doctor. Can you hear me? I doubt he can hear me at the moment. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue with that interview. Do stay with us.
A lot of the jobs that exist today will not exist in the next 10 years.
When I see people today shouting, we're not too young to run, we are ready to run. Ready to run to where?
The people of excellence are, to a certain extent, being held ransom by idiots and bandits.
Once you are in government, you believe everything you do is right. And once you are in opposition, everything the government does is wrong.
And so it's time for us to take over power.
This medal has been directed to empower 1,000 persons with disabilities in each state in the next 12 months.
When I start hearing the shoot of gun,
whatever I've done.
Every public policy has winners and losers, and some will not be very happy with you, while others, usually the silent majority, will be quite happy.
Thank you very much for staying with us. We now have Dr. Maduike Ezibe joining us. Thank you, Doctor, for joining us on the news.
Thank you.
All right, quickly, there is still a search for a cure for the virus. Has there been further development with your discovery?
I didn't get the question.
I'm asking, has there been further development with your discovery of a cure a few years ago?
Well, I don't know. I think I can say there's a development. I don't know if it's a good development or not. By December last year, that's 2019, I started a clinical trial of the medicine in conjunction with a Nigerian Institute of Medical Research, Yaba, Lagos. Which one will say government has started doing something good. But unfortunately, those people are very dishonest. Unfortunate, very, very unfortunate. Because when Abaraka raised the issue that Nigerian researchers were ready to tell lies, we thought he was being unreasonable. But NIMA has so much disappointed Nigeria. We started the research by December last year, and I being the lead researcher, I hope you know that in every research, there's the lead researcher. Lead researcher is that person who wrote the proposal, thereby stating what is going to be done and what is going to be expected. So I demanded, of course, that there will be a result every month. We set up a platform where they will send the result.
Okay, so you're talking about the Nigerian authorities. So has there been maybe some verification from NAFDAC? Are you in touch with WHO? What is the status?
Now, please listen. Let me educate you, because people talk too much. You don't talk about NAFDAC or the WHO. The country, the nation should set it up and then try what they are thinking. If it is with the government, the government should come out and say, look, we have invented this thing. There's international politics. If Nigeria doesn't say we have it, WHO cannot come and say Nigeria has it. So if Nigeria is playing politics, they're not interested in being the leader. So the WHO will never come and then beg Nigeria, come and be the leader.
All right, let's move on a bit. What's your assessment while we wait for some development with the vaccine or cure? What's your assessment of the continued effort by government in the face of COVID-19 to continue research on a vaccine and access for those who have HIV to antiretroviral drugs?
Okay, let me also use this opportunity now to correct most misconceptions that's going on in the world. People are looking for vaccine, chatting of vaccine for COVID-19. They don't understand what is vaccine. Vaccine is supposed to protect you, and if I vaccinate you now, and then after 1 week or two I challenge you, you don't come down with this. That doesn't mean that you have developed vaccine, because that vaccine has to be monitored to know how long that protection can last. And any vaccine that does not protect human beings for up to 10 years is useless. Take example, yellow fever. The vaccine is every 10 years. So that some people have developed vaccine that protected people for that particular day. It's not enough for you to start shouting we have developed vaccine. That vaccine has to be monitored to know how long it can protect.
Okay, Doctor, my question is actually your assessment of government's efforts to, help people with HIV get access to antiretroviral drugs.
That is the antiretroviral medicine. Well, I don't know. I'm not in a position to know whether they are giving people the antiretroviral medicine the way they should go. But the issue is that we have developed a cure for HIV in Nigeria. Nigerians don't have enough confidence to come and tell the world, we have a cure for HIV. And the 3 people so that they can recover. Instead of waiting for the international community to give them free drug. That is the only thing Nigerians are looking for. Don't give them. Instead of telling the world, we have the cure.
All right, Doctor. I'm afraid that's the much we can take on the news. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Have a good evening. Moving on now, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointment of Iman Ibrahim as the new Director General of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP. This was announced in a statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu. Now, Mrs. Ibrahim, who hails from Nasarawa State, holds a bachelor's degree in sociology and Masters of Business Administration (MBA) degrees. Until her new appointment, she was a member of the Nasarawa State Economic Advisory Council, as well as a special advisor on strategic communication to the Minister of State for Education. She replaces Julie Okadonle, who was appointed by Buhari in 2017. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has admitted that the nation needs to review its conventional means of dealing with security challenges. He said the government needed to do more on local intelligence and community policing. The Vice President's Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Laolu Akonde, in a statement said the Vice President spoke while answering questions from reporters on his arrival at Lafia, Nasarawa State for a one-day official visit. Reacting specifically to the recent killing of 43 rice farmers in Borno State, Osinbajo said such an attack could not be prepared for through conventional means. We go now to the House of Representatives, where we understand the House has passed a resolution to invite President Muhammadu Buhari to appear before the House to brief members on the security situation in the country. The decision was taken at Tuesday's plenary during consideration of a motion moved by members from Borno State on the recent massacre of 43 rice farmers in the state by Boko Haram insurgents. No date was announced for the invitation. The debate had earlier turned rowdy after the Speaker, Femi Gbadabiamila, appealed that it would be inappropriate to invite the President to disclose the actions being taken towards handling the security situation in the country. The Speaker described it as counterproductive. However, some members of the House were opposed to the Speaker's position, and this turned into a disruptive debate. The House then went into an executive session to resolve the matter. Still staying with the National Assembly, this time the Nigerian Senate has asked President Muhammadu Buhari to sack the nation's service chiefs immediately over what it describes as their failure to secure Nigerians. This followed a motion by Senator Kazim Shettima on the recent killing of some 40 rice farmers in Borno State by Boko Haram insurgents.
From the 1st of January to the 19th of this month, we have had 2,801 attacks and incidents in Borno State. The Senate shall further observe that whatever it is that the security chiefs are doing presently is not working, or at least not enough. And if the President insists that the security chiefs are doing their work well, then the logical implication of such assumption is that the President, as the constitutional commander-in-chief of the country, has failed in his most rudimentary assignment of securing this nation.
This is one too many. And I think the time of truth has come. It's no longer acceptable to every Nigerian of the situation that we find ourselves, especially in the Northeast. We cannot be mourning our citizens in and out every day. And we cannot accept again the explanation coming from the military every time there is an attack like this. If the statement that are credited to the spokesperson of Mr. President, Mr. Garba Shehu, is true, then let me say that it's highly irresponsible and insensitive.
I can tell you authoritatively that up to now, people in the war front are sharing ammunition. Up to now, Mr. President, you went through Zabarmari, and I'm sure you have stopped at the checkpoint. You have seen our soldiers If it is not that you are told that these are soldiers, you will not be able to, differentiate between them and Boko Haram, because they are not well kitted. Some of them have they don't have bulletproof vests. Some of them have no helmet. I have not seen a Nigerian army or soldier holding a brand new AK-47.
Mr. President, as I speak, my heart bleeds because innocent people, defenseless people have been killed without any justification whatsoever. And these people move into their farmlands under the pretext that the area is safe. The government of Nigeria said farmers should go and work on their farm. We should grow what we eat, and we should eat what we grow. This is the statement made by Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief.
Staying with the killing of farmers in Borno State, reactions continue to trail comments by Senior Special Assistant to President Muhammadu Buhari on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, that the 43 farmers that were killed by Boko Haram on Saturday did not have military clearance to be on the rice farms when the attack happened. Some Lagosians who spoke to Plus TV Africa said the incident should serve as a wake-up call for the government to secure the lives of ordinary Nigerians.
43 people that could have provided food for the nation is gone. They are gone. And all government could say is they don't have clearance. Instead of looking for a way to catch, end, or do something about their death, or even in civilized climes, when people like this, when 43 people die on the same day, what they do is they even declare a moment of silence or something, or even find a way of what do they call it? Of mourning them. But what our government could actually say is that they don't have clearance. Seriously, that's an eyesore, and it's a pity we are still living in this kind of climate.
Our government is ineffective. They don't care about people, because this is not the first time such a thing is happening in northern Nigeria. It's as if the president and also some governors in the northern state have turned a blind side to what is happening in the country, especially in the northern side. And it is disheartening to know that they don't care about the ordinary citizen.
This should be a wake-up call to the government to work on the security, safeguard the lives of these guys, because leave it, you take it or leave it. You that is doing a white-collar job, you fall back to food. So without these guys, we'll find it difficult to survive. So they should do something in respect of their security.
Also speaking on the possible economic effect, they lamented the resultant hike in prices of food items.
They have to produce anything. Of course, the prices of things will go up higher and higher every day. I felt so sad when I heard that man's news that they don't have clearance. They don't have clearance means what? So they don't have the confidence to go and produce food, even to provide what they will eat for their immediate family. How much more to sell for others? That's why we're in this state.
The food prices will be on the high side because the farmers will be scared to go to farm. They will be scared for their lives. And the few that will be courageous to go to their farm and harvest these things, definitely they will take advantage of the situation on ground and hype the price.
I'm not even sure what we should do in this country again. We should sell Nigeria, seriously.
On Sunday, the Borno State Governor, Babagana Zulum, had during a mass burial of the deceased farmers told journalists that 43 farmers were killed, but there continue to be debates as to the exact number of people killed on that day. A court-martial in Abuja has found Major General Olusegun Adeniyi guilty of violating military social media guidelines and ordered his demotion by at least 3 years. Recall that 8 months ago, Adeniyi complained about a lack of military equipment to combat Boko Haram insurgents in the northeast in a video that went viral on social media. The former theatre commander of Operation Lafia Dole also complained that insurgents were outgunning troops, noting that intelligence failure was responsible for an attack by insurgents that claimed dozens of soldiers. Adeniyi's aide, Private Tokunbo Obanla, was prosecuted alongside the general and found guilty and sentenced to 28 days in jail with hard labor. Both convictions are subject to confirmation by the military authorities, and Adeniyi's lawyers have vowed to appeal the judgment. Joining us now to take a look at this is security analyst Peter Aigbedion. Thank you very much for joining us. I'll just ask you straight up, are you surprised by the conviction?
I'm not surprised by it. Again, from what we've heard, the Major General pleaded guilty. Going by the rules, he was negligent in some fashion, which led to the video leaking or being put out in the public domain. So I'm not surprised by the decision of the court martial to demote him in rank by 3 years. Not surprised by it at all.
His lawyer is saying they are going to appeal. Do you expect that his appeal will amount to much, considering that this is the military we're talking about?
Well, I hope that when the matter is reviewed by the authorities on other grounds, such as compassionate grounds, and to bolster the morale of the troops who are currently engaged in these operations, that it would not be in good faith to continue with the sanctions that have been meted out to him. So I'm hoping that they will commute the sentence or reverse it altogether.
Okay,
what is the troops' morale?
What is the implication of the ruling for other officers? Will this restrict further outbursts from, officers who are not happy with their working condition?
I doubt it. All that will happen is that they're going to be more discreet in speaking to the press or to people or to families and friends. A lot of them are frustrated by the lack of equipment, from what they say. That they're coping with superior firepower from their enemies. So definitely, because that situation persists, it persists for now. They're going to find a way to be more discreet in giving information out there to the public, or trying to get people's awareness increased to what's going on. Really, people are just going to be more discreet.
All right,
it won't change anything.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you as well.
Have a good evening. Weeks after the October 20 Lekki and SARS protests turned violent, the hearing into the Lekki shooting, along with other related offences by the Special Anti-Robbery Squad SARS, have continued. Plus TV Africa's correspondent Mary Chinda was at the hearing today and reports.
The Lagos State Judicial Panel of Inquiry into Police Brutality resumed sitting on Tuesday. Proceedings began at 11:30 a.m. with 34-year-old Nduku Ekekwe, who broke a spinal cord amid SARS arrest and brutality in a shop at Alaba Market, taking the stand. He is cross-examined by the respondent counsel.
Will you be surprised if we show you proof that you were informed of your crime?
Let me know now.
I didn't get you.
Explain for me. Let me know.
The case is adjourned for further hearing as the respondent's counsel calls for more witnesses.
Because most of them called by the petitioners. One, they will not give detail of the officer, whoever they are alleging. And we find it difficult. Some of them happened 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and whatever, so on and so forth. And by police tradition, most of them is out of the state.
We cannot wait indefinitely.
Yes, we are aware. We are aware, sir.
If you cannot find your men, that is it.
Yes, sir. We are aware. No problem, sir.
We are not going to go at the pace of the respondents.
No problem.
Where you don't present your case, the matter will be taken as undefended.
Olajide Fawotade versus the Nigerian Police Force is the second case, a case of police brutality to a 60-year-old, and this too is adjourned for lack of sufficient information. Next is the alleged murder of Jimo Bono. His family is praying the panel to grant their request to be paid the sum of 300 million naira, awarded by a federal high court. This prayer the chairman turns down.
The matter is sub judice before an appellate court, a superior court of record.
Ascot places.
Why are you bringing us into it?
Ascot places.
I will give them an opportunity to produce their documents.
Ascot places.
We'll bring a matter to a finality. We don't have much time.
Ascot
All
places.
the ones that are lame ducks will be taken out of our way so that we'll find time to scrutinize those petitions that have merit.
The next hearing is scheduled for Friday, December 4th, 2020. Mary Chinda reporting for Plus TV Africa.
Thank you, Mary, for that report. You're watching the news on Plus TV Africa. Now, the police have commenced the process for the extradition of former chairman of the defunct Pension Reform Task Team, Abdulrasheed Maina, who was arrested in Niger Republic on Monday. The force spokesman, DCP Frank Mba, in a statement on Tuesday said the police were perfecting the paperwork for the repatriation of the fugitive from Niger, where he fled in a bid to escape justice for allegedly stealing 2 billion naira. He was apprehended through the joint efforts of the Nigerian Police Force, Interpol, National Central Bureau Abuja, and their Nigerian counterparts. The former Ministry of Interior Director is being prosecuted on 12 counts of money laundering to the tune of 2 billion naira by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. He had jumped bail, forcing the trial judge, Justice Abango Kone, to issue an arrest warrant against him. Professor Mahmood Yakubu has been confirmed by the Nigerian Senate as chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, for the second and final term of 5 years. His confirmation was sequel to the presentation of the report of the Senate Committee on INEC. Yakubu was first appointed INEC chairman in November 2015, taking over from Atahiru Jaga, who supervised the 2015 general election. Kabiru Gaya, chairman of the committee, said Mahmood was found suitable for the position with no petition or incriminatory report against him. Staying with INEC, this time in Lagos State, it is said it had delivered non-sensitive materials for Saturday's Lagos East Senatorial and Kosofe Constituency 2 House of Assembly by-elections to all the 5 affected councils in the area. INEC spokesman Femi Akinbiyi told journalists on Tuesday in Lagos that the commission would soon receive the sensitive materials for the elections. Akinbiyi said that the receipt of the materials would be in the full glare of the political parties' representatives, election observers and the media. Candidates from 12 political parties will be contesting in the Lagos East senatorial by-elections, while 8 candidates will be contesting the Kosofe Constituency 2 Lagos State House of Assembly by-elections. The 2 by-elections slated for December 5 became necessary following the demise of the former occupants who were members of the APC. We go to Oyo State, where Governor Seyi Makinde has assured residents of Oyo and Osun states of his readiness to reposition the Ladoke Akintola University to fulfill her original mandate. He spoke during a thank-you visit with his team to Governor Gboyega Oyetola for his cooperation and the final resolution and transfer of the ownership of the university to Oyo State.
The institution was closed down for several years. And I said to those people that there are several ways to skin a rat. But what is important is